Today's debate topic is, should animal testing be allowed? We have two sides today, one affirmative and one negative. Before starting the debate, I will explain the format. The leading speaker for each side will outline their position of the issue. Then, starting with the team for the affirmative and taking turns, each team will have a chance to support their opening position and to counter-argue their opponent's position. Afterwards, the closing statement from each team will conclude today's debate. Each debater will have 1 minute to make their points. I wish you all the best, and may the best team prevail. Now, let's start the debate. The leading speaker for the affirmative team can now step forward to the podium. Each speaker will have 1 minute for their speech. When you are ready, you may begin.
Should animal testing be allowed? I'm here to tell you that yes, it should. Without animal testing, we would not have many of the medications, cosmetics, vaccines, and surgical procedures that we do today. Animal testing allows us to test product safety before bringing it to the public. Through these testings, we are able to contribute to life-saving cures and treatments. We have avoided the risks of human testing by using animals created in a lab. With protocols in place, we are able to ensure that the testing process is humane. These animals have been created for an honorable purpose, to serve the humankind.
Thank you. The leading speaker for the negative team can now step forward to the podium. You will also have 1 minute for your speech. You may begin when you are ready.
Animal testing should not be allowed. Not only does animal testing endanger the creatures involved, but it also affects our environment. The amount of hazardous waste created by the disposal of toxic feed animals has produced harmful substances and air pollutants. Science has been working towards an alternative to animal testing that produces results more compatible with humans. The immense amount of physical trauma that these animals endure should not be ignored just to serve humanity.
Thank you both. Both teams will now clearly know the opponent's assertions. Now, both teams will prepare counter-arguments. The second speaker for the affirmative team may now rebut the first speaker.
네, 이제 각 팀은 상대 팀이 발표한 요지에 대해서 반론을 하겠습니다.
We have made crucial medical advances that would not have been possible without animal testing. A large portion of the population would have been wiped out due to diseases such as influenza, MERS, and most recently COVID-19. These diseases are now treatable thanks to the development of antibiotics, vaccines, and medical procedures. Treatments that would not have been safe for humans without extensive animal testing.
Negative team, you may now give your response.
Yes, but you're ignoring the environmental impact that came from those animal tests. Research shows that over 4 million animals are used each year. A large percent of those animals were killed by faulty versions of products such as antibiotics and vaccines. According to the NIH, 90% of preclinical studies failed to lead to treatments for humans. 95% of drug tests that are safe for animals fail in human trials. Furthermore, even if the experiments are successful, those animals, along with the associated supplies, are disposed of and exposed to the environment. So, why are you creating so much hazardous waste for such little results? If we continue to use animal testing, we are hurting animals, we are hurting our environment, and in turn, we are hurting ourselves by damaging the planet we live on.
If not for those animals, it would be humans being disposed of. You're forgetting we already have policies in place to reduce the amount of animals used in studies. Animal testing is an unfortunate but necessary consequence for the progress of science. Therefore, biologists have created a 3R principle to improve the welfare of animals. Replacement, using alternatives when possible. Reduction, minimizing the amount of animals used per experiment. refinement, methods that minimize the suffering of the animals. These are the ways the scientists are trying to balance the need for animal testing with the ethical dilemma it creates.
Ethics is a reflection on human beings and their interaction with nature and other humans. If the way we interact with nature, such as animals, has a negative impact, then by definition it is unethical. Animals have rights, and by sentencing them to a life in captivity, we are violating their rights, therefore behaving immorally.
Do animals not think and feel? Animals experience pain and fear the same as we do. And at the hands of researchers, they also experience burning, poisoning, shocking, and mutilation, things that we could not stomach. So despite the 3R principle, there is no way to make animal testing a comfortable nor ethical method.
I couldn't agree with you more. Those kind of tests are something humans could not stomach, and thanks to animal testing, we never will. As of now, there is no perfect alternative to human testing. Animals are the closest living thing to human anatomy. Would it be better to conduct these experiments on fellow citizens?
All healthcare treatments are stable in the early stages. None of them are suitable for humans initially. Is it better to use these hazardous products on the general public, or is it better to test them and perfect them on animals first? We need to choose the quality of human life over the quality of animal life.
Why is it one or the other? Scientists have been developing methods that involve neither animals nor humans. Rather, they created biogenetic substitutes that share more similarities with human biology than animals could ever produce. Substitutes, for example, cell cultures, artificial skin, and stem cell research. While animal testing has less than a 40% agreement rate with humans, alternative methods such as artificial skin yield more than 90% compatibility results.
We are even able to mimic certain organ functions and structures through 3D tissue models. Animals were useful to learn about the human body in the past, but now we have more modern and accurate ways to learn about our anatomy, so why not use them? With the alternatives in play, there is no need to continue sacrificing and abusing animals for personal gain.
Yes, you're right. The scientists are working on creating substitutes for animal testing. However, they are not fully developed. Using synthetic components can be unpredictable when trying to match it with biological material. Things that are artificially created do not behave as a living organism. Things like inflammation, irritations, or side effects on the body as a whole cannot be accurately predicted when dealing with synthetic materials.
The bottom line is that people are not just pieces of skin or cartridges of cells. The only way to see how a whole living body reacts to tests such as new vaccinations, medications, or surgical procedures is through animal testing.
There is no doubt that alternative methods are cheaper than animal testing, more humane than animal testing, and more accurate than animal testing. Yes, as of now, we can only see how parts of the body react to a certain stimulus. But if we invest more into these new alternatives, then we can better replicate the human body as a whole.
Thank you both for your very passionate rebuttal. Finally, each team prepares their closing statements.
네, 각 팀은 1분 동안 최종 발언을 진행하겠습니다.
Negative team can begin when you are ready.
To say that animal testing is the only way to progress in the field of science is saying that we cannot progress as people. The abuse of another living thing for our own gain is not something that should carry on. Animal testing is damaging to every aspect of our lives. Is it worth lowering our morality, the health of living creatures and our planet for an old way of testing? If you say yes to the statement, I worry for us as a society. The alternatives in place are more than enough to put an end to animal testing. Animal testing is a thing of the past. Let's move towards a more ethical, scientifically advanced future.
Time for the closing statement for the affirmative team.
The use of animals to aid humankind has been around since people learned to hunt, and their greatest role has been helping us influence the world of healthcare. Scientists are now using animals for experiments such as cloning, stem cell research, and limb and organ transplant. People who are suffering from decaying organs or amputation can have a chance to regain what they lost. If we stop animal testing now, that chance may be delayed. Animal testing is our past, and it can provide our future.
I thank both teams for today's debate. Regardless of winning or losing, both teams have composed and spoken their ideas in a highly articulate way. We are all very impressed about your preparedness and applaud you for your great debate. I am grateful for all who partook in the competition. Thank you. This will conclude the debate competition.